This is Erica before, and this is how we put in Extend USA hair extensions. I place the hair under the tip of the gun. I apply a small amount of resin. I then lift up the client's hair. I then pull it down tight onto a silicone pad, and then with our special rolling technique we create the shape of a football, and that's what seals the hair together. The two are kind of encapsulated together. They're not glued together. The resin is not a glue. This is what a row looks like. Here's another row. Now you'll notice all the different colors of hair. We actually used 8 different colors of hair extensions. And that's so we could custom blend to match all the different colors in her hair. On the top you'll see I'm taking a zigzag parting, and this is where we blend off the last layer of hair extensions. Now you can see I'm taking hair from several different colors, and this is how we custom blend to create the colors that we want. That way each extension is not a monotone color, and the hair has a lot of vibrancy and natural look. We went for a undercolor on Erica. We wanted it to be more of a red copper underneath with the blonde back on top. I'm now working through the crown, taking a zigzag parting again, and now you can see how I'm taking hair from different colors. I take a small amount at a time, I blunt cut it, I apply a small amount of resin to the tip, I take some of her hair, I pull it down onto the silicone pad, and then with our rolling technique I create the shape of a football. It's that simple, it's that fast. And this is what the row of scattered looks like. I'm now finishing the other side. Again, I place the hair under the gun. I pull down. I roll with the silicone pad. I create the shape of a football, and I move on to my next one. Again, just a small amount of resin. It's such a small amount that the client can barely feel the extensions in her hair. I blunt cut it, I place a small amount of resin on the tip, I lift up her hair, I place it underneath, I pull down tight, and then with the silicone pad I create the football seal. It takes me about 17 seconds to put in one extension. So here's the last final row of scattered extensions on Erica. And now we're going to get ready and show you how to cut them.
Now as you can see, I'm going in with my comb tilted downwards, and this is so I don't get my teeth caught within the bonds. I'm going to take a pretty large section and separate that hair. Now I'm going to turn her back around. I'm going to comb the hair away from the scalp. As you can see, I'm not going to her scalp. We don't want to get the comb stuck. And as I'm going through, I'm making sure that I'm taking the time to support the hair here and comb through any tangles that you're going to get. I'm going to elevate. Again, determine where her hair is and where our final length is. And at this point, I'm going to take the razor, and I'm just going to gently go in and cut an inversion. So what that means is I'm cutting from shorter to longer. I'm going to continue that throughout. And once that's done, I'm going to go back in with my scissors, and we're going to do some deep parallel point cutting. And what that's going to do is that's going to encourage a softness on the ends and help to encourage that seamlessness from your extensions to the client's hair. Again, I'm supporting the hair with my hand, combing right through to get rid of any tangles. We don't want to cause the client any discomfort. Finding her own hair and working my way towards the lengths, creating more of a blend. Now be aware that when you're doing this, you don't want to remove too much hair from the bottom. So we bring that up and we make sure we cut from the shortest point through to the longest point. That will ensure that you're leaving that length through the base, which will keep it nice and solid. Again, combing with my teeth facing up. Eric, I'll get you to hold this. The number of rows that you'll be putting in front of the ear will be less. So you obviously have less hair in through this area. But it's also the most important area to blend, because the client is obviously going to see the front first. That's what they're going to be most concerned with. So you have to make sure that front section looks great. And then you have to make sure that back section looks great, because if they're not doing their hair every day, or if they're letting it dry naturally, using it with a little bit of wave, last thing you want to have is that curliness through the bottom with a straight little hat up on top. And you can see I'm just sliding the razor through the hair. Very easy. Now as you go through the hair, you see the transition from her own hair into the extensions is a lot less visible. It's not perfect yet, but we're going to get in there and finish it up. Also, we're going to work the area in the front so that, again, through here we have a nice blend from her fringe area, her bangs, through to the bottom. And what's important is that when you're doing this, you make sure that you section off the hair in front of the ear. Okay, we don't want to remove too much hair from this area, because then it'll almost look like she has short hair in the front and long hair in the back. And the whole point of a person getting extensions, 9 times out of 10, is because they want to have that feeling of long hair. So what's going to happen now is I'm going to cut from this shortest point through to this longest point. And we're going to do so with the razor, and then we'll go back in with the scissors to personalize. So I'm going to turn this way and gently just going to come down with the razor. The angle of the razor is almost parallel to the hair. The more of an angle you go at the hair with the razor, the more hair you're going to remove. So on the hair shaft, if you come almost 90 degrees, you're going to be removing much more hair than if you come almost parallel to the hair. Okay, so the less of an angle you use that razor on, the less hair you're going to remove. So when you're working through the front, you want to make sure that you're coming at the hair almost parallel. It gives you a lot more control, and you'll have a better finish. Again, teeth pointed up, combing to the front of the ear. We can get this other hair out of the way. I'm going to find her own hair, and we're going to connect through. Razor almost parallel. Take your time with this part. This is a very important part. The last thing you want to do is come in and remove a big chunk. You can always reinstall, but why do it if you don't have to? And you can see now through the front, it's very difficult to tell where her own hair ends and the extensions begin. A lot of this is going to be visual. It's going to be something that will develop with time. The more you do the extensions, the easier it's going to get. But the better you get at cutting this, the hair, and working on getting that blend, the happier your clients are going to be, because people aren't going to know their extensions. Now, I'm going to move on to my shears. And the reason why I'm using the shears is, again, because I want to get a nice seamless finish. So I'm going to go back through the top of her own hair, and we're going to soften up the lines. So I'm taking sections horizontally across the head and picking the hair up. I'm going to look at her own hair again. As you can see, there's an extension in there, and I'm going to go in and just take snips within the hair that are almost parallel to the hair shaft. And as you can see, it makes things much more seamless. When this hair falls into the other hair, you won't have any heavy areas of weight, again making that transition better. Now you can see her own hair falls completely into the extensions. And at this point, you can go in and personalize the style however you like. When you bring the hair all back, you can see that it's still quite solid. And at this point, if you prefer having a softer edge, you can leave that. You can bring it up and make it nice and strong. You can take it a little shorter. It's entirely up to the finish that you want to achieve. Through the front as well. So once you get into using your eye, with practice, you'll be able to get a completely seamless finish from the extension hair right through their own hair. And she'll make all her friends jealous.